This is the Finesse Media Podcast.
Hi there, Mr. Ken. It's Miss Anita. Thank you so much for connecting me to Miss Braxton. For a minute there, I thought it was kind of a prank or something, but it was great to hear her voice and to just, tell her personally how much we love her. So thank you so much for that.
Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, they'll be. Everywhere I go, they'll be. Blessings on me, blessings on me. Everywhere I go, they'll be. Everywhere I go, I can feel it.
Is this thing on? Welcome back to the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 6. I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media. And as I mentioned to you each and every season, I'm bringing you something brand new. And more importantly, this season, y'all, is going to be a rocking season. So let's get into it. Where do we start and how do we start? Let's recap. So last season, Season 5, I had an incredible lineup for you all. Last season, what I did was I changed it up for it to be an HBCU Divine 9 extravaganza. So shout out to all my Divine 9 folks that joined me on last season to make sure that we gave Black pride, and more importantly, we spotlighted our HBCUs while doing that and highlighting our Divine 9. With that being said, this HBCU of the week is none other than my alma mater, the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, the flagship of the Delta. So shout out to UAPB and shout out to all the HBCUs. And if you want your HBCU to be spotlighted on this podcast, just drop your information in the comments. That's all you got to do, because I want to shout out all HBCUs. And if I got to do it over and over and over, we'll do it. And it's not a problem, because I think at this point, 6 seasons, I've shouted them all out. So shout out to my HBCUs. And also the Finesse Media University. So as my hiatus, we'll jump into it. But while I was on my hiatus, luxuriating, y'all, I'll tell you, I launched the Finesse Media University. And what that is, if you don't know, it's giving away scholarships to any individual going to an HBCU. And it's going to kick off this spring, 2024. If you're attending, or if you know someone that's attending an HBCU, let them know. Applications will open up on Christmas Day. Christmas Day, I'll open up the applications. The link will be provided on my web pages. And let those people know you have to be a freshman, male or female, entering into an historically Black college or university spring of 2024. You don't want to miss it, because we're giving away money so that you can have your way at an HBCU. And you guys know this, as an HBCU or any college student for that matter, entering at a new school or entering into an organization that's going to be so impactful for the rest of your life, it's a lot of pressure. So we want to support those people that's entering those schools, and we want to keep them there by giving them some financial assistance. So this is not towards a book. This is not towards your athletics. It's going to be surely an educational expense. And so again, that's brought to you by the Finesse Media University. You'll see the logo right down there at the bottom. So make sure you let those people know. December 25th, the applications will open up so that you can apply. And we're giving away 3 scholarships to 3 qualifying individuals. So the Finesse Media University is doing big things. So let's talk about this recap, man. March the 31st is when we ended Season 5. And again, thank you so much for joining me and keeping your support in the comments by sharing, by subscribing, and setting that reminder. So right now, a real quick plug. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Finesse Media Podcast. Click the link and also hit the bell so you'll be notified when new episodes release. And so episode 1 is entitled Anchor. And I'll tell you this, I have been anchored in all of the things that I, at this point in my life, felt like I could be anchored into. More or less career, finances, relationship, marriage, right? And also just my family. And so I'm anchored in my spirit also. So I wanted to entitle this whole season Anchor. And so throughout these episodes, when I'm chatting with people, I'll be giving away a little bit of my stories and testimonies. But I want to recap with you first, family, because I think it's important for you to know what the hell's been going on. So I'll tell you, March the 31st, we ended Season 5, and it was an incredible ride. But then I had to take a break because, as you know, with anything that you're going to keep moving and pressing forward, you got to take a break from it so you can revitalize and give that energy back. And shout out to the Finesse Media Podcast Season 6 shirt too, by the way. If you haven't got your gear, hit me up in the comments, DM, text me, send me an email, Morris code, bet call, whatever you want to do. But get your Finesse Media Season 6 gear. And shout out to the people who have already supported many seasons before and that has already supported Season 6 merchandise. All right, back at the range. I'll tell you this. It's been an incredible ride. During this hiatus, it was time for me to reflect and I think really pivot and figure out what I wanted to do in my career. So I'll tell you this in my recap. And again, I'll be unpacking it through the rest of the season. So I'm not going to give you everything. So if you want to fast forward, you can. No, don't fast forward. Keep it locked right here. But no, I wanted to change careers. And so I was with a long organization, which I'll name ABC organization for the legality parts of it. And I was with ABC organization for many years, but what I wanted to do was change career fields. A lot of people think that the podcast and you see me as a publicist and you see me with my clients and that's all you believe, and graphic designs, that's all most would believe I do, and that's fine because that's what I publicly put out there. But I am a professional in a corporate arena, and I wanted to change the organization after being with them for several years. And so that actually didn't happen by my own right. I was actually getting ready to do it, and then all of a sudden, right after season 5 ended, I got a call to say, you're no longer going to be with the company. Yeah, bombs over Baghdad happened. For those that know, I just had my 4th kid, and she was born March the 21st. So 10 days before the hiatus ended, about 2 weeks after the hiatus ended, I was let go, unemployed. So just trying to figure out how I can stay anchored and how I can move forward. But I'll tell you guys, you got to keep your prayers up and you got to keep those things that's not going to be good for you away from you. So I got deep into my spiritual faith and kind of got grounded back into that and just remembered that I am the asset. And that's what I want y'all to remember. If you take nothing else from me and my upcoming finesses or the guests, know that you are the asset. You bring the asset to the table. So never let a relationship or a company, for that matter, hold your feet to the fire as if you can't take your ball and go home. So that's exactly what I did. I took what happened not so good and turned it around for something good. And so later on, I was able to kind of get back into my footing and get back into the things that I wanted to do. But I did it with a little bit of different finesse, and I did it with a different organization. So I pivoted a little bit. So I'm like, wait a minute, I should be enjoying my hiatus and not really trying to figure out the hustle and the bustle of a new career opportunity. But I'll tell you, all those things work for your good, y'all. So believe me, I triumphed and I stayed my feet to the ground and not towards the fire. So they say when it rains, it pours, but it's your choice to either dance in the rain or be drowned by the water in your circumstances. So you have to stay anchored in the stormy seas. You got to. And I'll tell you, that's exactly what I did. So in my hiatus, I also had the opportunity to take a break, go down to Atlanta, chilling. So you got to take some of these opportunities as a vacation, right? So I took a trip down to Atlanta, and I'll tell you, I had such an amazing time in Atlanta, kicking it with those folks down there. But what I had the opportunity, and you may have seen this already, but what I had an opportunity to do during my hiatus is see the Queen Bee. No, not talking about Beyonce. Shout out to Beyonce, and I'll get to that part of the story as well. But I met the Queen Bee, the icon, the legendary, the songstress, the R&B queen herself, Anita Baker, y'all. I'll tell you. And shout out to Miss Evelyn Braxton for making that happen. And you'll see clips and you'll see how much fun we had at the show, singing along to her melodies. And you know they stretch from the first album to the last album. Do you know what I mean? So Anita Baker is an icon, and to be able to get an invite by way of Miss Evelyn Braxton to sit at the concert and have great seats and to enjoy her singing. And you'll see Usher came out. This was a Valentine's Day concert, which was a real sweet treat for me. And so this was a good time for me to actually be set up for the end of the season 5. So this is actually before my hiatus. So having that and telling y'all that experience, it was magical. We were able to connect with her and give her our love verbally. So I'll give you a treat at the end of this episode as it relates to that moment. Thank you so much Miss Anita Baker, and we'll see you in Dallas December the 17th, and I'll keep you guys locked on the details with that. But also, I said Queen B, but I did have an opportunity during my actual hiatus, and which was probably one of the most highlighted things for the entire year. We're not done yet, but the entire year so far, but definitely the highlight for the summer. Shout out to my boy, the Grammy Award winning trombonist, my crab brother, LA's own, Inglewood High own, Chris Johnson. You've seen him on this podcast several times. He's a friend to the show, but he's my dear brother. And I'll tell y'all, this is how it goes. I'm going to Vegas. Shout out to Lunel. And I'm going to see Lunel. I wanted to go to Vegas for my birthday, August the 25th. Shout out to the Virgos. August the 25th, I land in Vegas. I'm going to Lunel's concert. And I go, this is what I'm going to do, right? Go to Lunel's concert. Well, while I'm just lackadaisical and just cavalierly walking through Vegas, I get a phone call from my boy Chris Johnson. He goes, hey bro, what are you doing? First off, happy birthday. I go, well, happy birthday to me. Yeah, thank you. He goes, what you doing tomorrow? I go, tomorrow Sunday, I'm going to go check out Lunel. She has a residency. And by the way, if you are in Vegas or plan to be in Vegas, make sure you check out Lunel at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Show, Theater Comedy Club. It's amazing. I haven't seen the set. Tell you why. I didn't see the set, but I've seen Lunel a couple times, and she's also a friend to the podcast. But check out if you're in Vegas. But I'm in Vegas. Chris calls my phone. What are you doing on Sunday? Well, I got tickets to see Lunel. So that's what I'm doing. He goes, oh, man, I thought I was going to be able to give you tickets to see Beyonce, which rarely happens. Rarely happens. So it's rarity had him to even call my phone, which again, a humble gratitude for that, because he could have called anybody, y'all. And so he called me. He goes, hey, you want to come to the show? I got a couple tickets. I go, perfect. So sorry, Lunel, I had to reach out and say I couldn't make it, but I made my way to the concert in Vegas. My mother and I, you'll see us, we're having a good time. And when I got there, I didn't realize that the seats were where we were. An amazing show, but an incredible experience to see Beyonce live and in person, and to be literally on stage, in a sense, with Beyonce. And so I'll tell y'all, Chris is a good dude. Support that brother. And I had a great time at the show, Chris. Thank you so much. You made my mom night. She thinks you're like the dopest person in the world. And you are. You're the dopest person. You're the dopest musician. And we got to get that album. But Beyonce concert in Vegas, y'all, was super amazing. It was probably one of the highlights, for sure, of the summer. It was on my birthday weekend. And shout out to my homegirl, Andrea, who also kicked it with us down in Vegas for a couple of days while she too was there for the Renaissance tour. So that was amazing. So ending like my birthday weekend in Vegas with family and with love and the whole bit with the Beyonce doing Virgo season. It was just a cool experience, y'all. I just can't tell you. I've been anchored. I've been anchored this whole time, just realizing that everything that's going to happen will happen in its time, and you're not going to worry about things. And so I'm having a good time. I know this season 6, is going to be an amazing time. I have a fantastic lineup for y'all. I'll tell you, some of the faces you've seen before, a lot of new faces. You know, I want to bring in new flavor. I want to bring in new energy. So there'll be a lot of new finesses on this podcast. And I want to have folks on co-hosting. So you'll have some surprise co-hosters with me as well, joining me on this beautiful platform, the Finesse Media Podcast. And so I'm going to keep rolling it out, keep giving you some energy. And also, if you know anybody that you say, hey, kid, you should have this person on the podcast, because I believe that they are finessing the motherfucking game, just keeping it real. Those are the folks that I like to talk to. Celebrities are cool, but everybody has heard their interview or their story, right? Or they subscribed already. So we want to get some fresh talent. I want to introduce you to, and I will be introducing you all to new artists, new singers, new actors, new entrepreneurs, babies, kids alike. And also keeping it locked with HBCUs, because I'll be introducing you to a lot of new HBCUs. I'll be on campus with HBCUs. So this podcast is going to take off in its most magical way. And shout out, once I wrap this up, shout out to the content, right? Shout out to the content. Shout out to my good brother Will for taking some amazing shots to help me build out this podcast and build up the fanfare for this actual premiere. So it's going down, y'all. Finesse Media Podcast each and every week on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. comment. I'm going to be dropping some more of what I done in the whole recap because it was 5 months, for God's sakes, that I was resting. So you've seen a lot. I don't want to regurgitate. You follow me on social media. You've seen some of the things I've been doing, the places I've been. But I'll be throughout the season just giving you some more droplets and giving you insight behind that plate of food that I had. Shout out to South City in Atlanta, which I was just down there. And Black-owned business, a really good spot. If you're in Atlanta, check out South City, Atlanta. It's in Midtown, and it's an amazing spot. So I'm just going to be unpacking some of my trips and experiences that I've had throughout the 5 months. I don't want to talk your head off. You know I like to do it, but I want to do it with some more people. So keep it locked here each and every week on the Finesse Media Podcast. Friday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New date and new time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and make sure you hit the doggone bell so you'll be notified when new episodes release, okay? Because I don't want to be spamming your page. I want you to be ready and be fired up for the next Finesse. So I'll be back. Next episode, I'm going to give you a little bit more. So I got some more for you. Stay tuned. Keep it locked. The Finesse Media Podcast, Season 6. We back. I got to go. I got some more to show you. I got some more finesses to call. Keep it here. Thank you for watching. Peace.
This is the Finesse Media Podcast.